Hello, my name is Keshwani. This is K-E-S-H-W-A-N-I, Keshwani. We are here because we want to learn algebra. Today is our lesson number 7. The problem is already on the blackboard. It says if A equals 3, B equals 5, C equals 1, X equals 2 and Y equals 7, what are the values of the following expressions? 12x, y times a squared, 2ab, b cubed, 4c raised to 5, 5bx, 3x squared, 10x cubed, 2abc, c squared times x squared times y squared. What I want you to do is pause the video at this point, solve the problem yourselves, and once you have done so, you can continue watching the video. Okay? Alright, here we go then. Number 1. 12x, and we know that x is 2, so that's very simple. 12x is just 12 times 2, which is 24. Y, which is 7, times a squared, which is 3. 3 squared we know is 9. 7 times 9, well I know that 7 times 10 is 70, so 7 times 9 must be 7 less than 70, 63. 2 times a times b, 2 times a, which is 3, times b, which is 5, and we know that 2 times 5 is 10, 10 times 3 is 30. Let's go on then. Number 4. Number 4 is simply b cubed, and b is 5. So it's 5 cubed, 5 cubed, this is how it's read, 5 cubed, or you can read this as 5 raised to 3, or 5 raised to the third, or third power. There are several different ways of reading this thing, and I explained all of this in the first 6 days. Today is our day number 7. And I also explained that if you really want to learn the algebra, and if you are in fact the beginner, which is what this series is meant for, this series of algebra lessons, I'm going to put together 50 of them, is meant for those people who have never had algebra in their lives. And if you happen to be one of those people, and if you want to learn the algebra the proper way is to solve, first of all, you must solve all the problems with me. Secondly, you cannot skip around the lesson. Don't think that you can, this guy keeps doing the same thing for 20 days. Why do I need to watch all 20 days? I'm just going to watch for 1 or 2 days and move on to the next topic. The point is not the topic, the point is you need to practice. Do you understand? What was I going with it? So if you watch all of my videos 1 through 6, in the first 6 videos somewhere, I explain the terminologies, which I'm not going to keep explaining all the time because that will become too tedious. b cubed, which is 5 cubed, which is simply 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 we know is 25, and 25 fives, or 5 25s, will make 125. Let's move on then. Number 5, I need the room, so we need to erase all of this thing. What was number 5? 4 c to the 5th. This is how it's read. 4 c to the 5th. This is how a lot of people read it, but of course in reality what they mean to say is c to the 5th power. We're not interested in 4 right now, so let's erase this thing. C to the 5th power. This is how it should be read, c to the 5th power, but sometimes people are lazy, like myself, and they simply say c to the 5th. In other words, you understand, c raised to the 5th power, which means you are to take c and multiply by itself 5 times. 2, 3, this is c cubed, c to the 4th, c to the 5th. Whatever the value of the c happens to be, you take that value and multiply it by itself 5 times, because that's the power, 5. So here we have 4 c to the 5th and say, oh, c is just 1. What the? Oh, bloody hell. Well, 1 multiplied by itself, no matter how many times you multiply 1 by itself, is just 1. Let's make a note of it here. Let's make a note of it here. 1 raised to any number equals 1. 1 raised to any number equals 1. And now we're going to say the same thing in English language. This was mathematical language. Now let's just say the same thing. Translation of this thing in English language would be no matter how many times one multiplies by itself, the product remains 1. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. I can go on forever. 1 raised to 1000. Let's see, where can I put it? 1 raised to 1000 equals 1. In other words, if I were to sit there and multiply 1 by itself 1000 times, or for that matter keep on going until the cows come home, for those of you who have heard of that expression, not expressions, for those of you who have heard of this expression, which I picked up many years ago in Minnesota. We don't use that expression in Connecticut, but in the Midwest they say until the cows come home, and of course cows never come out of their own volition. I don't know what day it was. The cows have to be herded out. Oh, I'm going on for no reason. I'm babbling right now. Anyway, that's the expression. You can go on forever until the cows come home. Forever and ever. No matter how many times you sit there and multiply 1 by itself, it's not going to change anything. It's still going to remain 1. The same idea is expressed in mathematical language like this. 1 raised to any number. 1 raised to any number is 1. Here we have c, which happens to be 1. And it is being raised to the 5th power. So technically what it is technically what this is 4 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. There are 5 of them. That is, if I can count. There are 5 of them, but no matter how many ones you have, it still remains 1, so it's just 4. This whole thing is just 4. I'm looking for a word, and I don't even know why I used that word. I forgot now how I used it. Volition is the word, and if you want to learn it, go to number 37, day number 37 for my vocabulary videos, and you will learn it there. Just type in Kashwani Prep -vocab day 37 and you will learn the word. Let's move on to number 6. So in number 5 what we learn is that 1 raised to any power is 1. That's it. I'm going to leave it here. Number 6. What do we have? 5 times b times x. 5 times b times x. 5 times b, which is 5. b is 5 times x, which is 2. And we know that 5 times 2 is 10. 10 times 5 is 50. Very good, that's it. That was number 6. Let's move on to number 7, which is 3x squared. 3x, which is 2 squared. We know that 2 squared is 4. 2 squared is 4, so it's just 3 times 4, which is 12. Let's move on to number 8. In number 8 we have 10 raised to x cubed. X is 2. 10 raised to 2 cubed. 2 cubed, which is same as 10 times 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, and 10 eighths will make it 80. Number 9, the penultimate one. 2 times a times b times c. 2 times a times b times c. Something is missing here. That's not what I have written down in my notes. 2 times A times B times C. Oh, I see what happened. I left out the 1 in my calculation because 1 plays no role, but that's what it is. 2 times A, which is your 3, times B, which is your 5, times C, which is your 1. 2 times A times B times C. Well, we know that 2 times 5 is 10, times 3 is 30. Let's go on to the next one, the very last one. I'm going to erase this part, we no longer need it. 1 raised to any number is 1, which in English language simply means no matter how many times one multiplies 1 by itself, the product remains 1. Let's get rid of this 1 here because it's confusing. No matter how many times you multiply, 1 by itself, that was crucial that I left it out. No matter how many times you multiply 1 by itself, the product remains 1, which is what I'm showing here. 1 raised to any number equals 1. I described this question just now a little while ago as penultimate question, second to the last question. Now, I don't know how many times I'm going to do this thing. I've already done it twice already, I think 3 times already. I'm not going to keep on doing it. Perhaps for the last time, penultimate. When did I cover it? Day number 11. Penultimate was the word, which simply means second to the last. I described number 9 as second to the last because number 10 is the last one. Number 10 is x squared times y squared times c squared. How else, before we actually evaluate the value of it, how else could this be written? This could have been written as, first of all, c should go first because this comes first in the alphabetical order, and that's what the convention dictates. Convention dictates that you always write the variable in algebra, an algebraic expression, in algebraic order, in alphabetical order. It's just preferable. It is preferable to put them in alphabetical order. But these are not. So I put c first, and then the x, and then the y, and because they have the same power, x squared, y squared, c squared, we could combine all 3 of them and put the power outside. And this is the same as that. C is 1, x is 2, y is 7. So basically here what we're being asked is 14 squared. We have to figure 14 squared? Bloody hell. It is 14 squared. Ah, alright. Well, I don't know what 14 squared is. So let's just break it up. I'm going to put this as 2 squared times 7 squared, which is same as 4 times 49, which makes it easier for me because we know that 4 times 50 is 200, therefore 4 times 49 must be 4 less than 200, which is 196. I'm going to explain this in a second, but let me first take care of this word here. Convention was the word. The word convention, I'm digressing right now big time. The word convention has 2 meanings. One meaning of the word convention is something that almost everybody knows, which is a gathering, a meeting, a powwow. One goes to convention. I'm going to a convention. The second meaning of the word convention is tradition. The second meaning of the word convention is tradition. And if you want to make the adjective out of it, convention is a noun, tradition is a noun, and if you want to make the adjective out of it, then convention becomes conventional, and tradition will become traditional. So if someone says this is conventional way, what they're saying is that this is a traditional way. This is how why do you guys do it this way? Or this is the way it's been done. This is just our convention. This is just our tradition. So what I said is that the convention dictates, that's a very fancy way of saying, that in algebra, convention dictates that you always put the variable in alphabetical order. Convention dictates is another way of saying that is how the custom is, that is how the tradition is, and one must honor the convention, one must honor the tradition. Because otherwise it's just annoying. If I have A times B times C, why the hell should I go around saying A times C times B times A? It's just weird. It's much easier to say A, B, C. Because they go alphabetical order. Do you understand? Where was I going with this thing? I was going someplace. Oh, I was going to explain to this part as to how I figured this out. 4 times 49. Well, we know 4 times 50 is 200. And therefore, 4 times 49, which is just one less than that. And we have four ones here, which are fewer than this one. Therefore, this one must be 200 minus 4. Voila, 196. Because instead of 4 50s, we have 4 49s. And where did we get 4 49s? Well, I broke it up. I opened this parenthesis, and then we get 2 squared out of this guy, and we got 7 squared out of that guy. 7 squared is 49, 2 squared is 4. That was the end of our lesson today. Oh, I did not tell you when we learned about convention, did I? I was looking for it and I never found it. Convention. Day number 46, if you're interested. And of course, when I say if you're interested, I mean you're interested. Okay. Day 46. Just type in this tag, Keshwani Prep dash vocab dash day 46, and you will learn about convention along with a whole bunch of other useful words. I will see you tomorrow on day number 8. In the meantime, if you wish to get hold of me, just send me an email. Go to any of these website addresses that you see there and send me an email, or you can go to keshwaniprep.com and get hold of me from there. Alright? Thanks.